Meal prepping. Meal prepping is one of those things in life that I think we associate with success. It's like, oh, if I meal prepped, if I knew exactly what to eat, when to eat it, and why to eat it, I think I would go far with that. And I totally get it. But the thing is like, as important as meal prepping is, it's important to understand the whys behind meal prepping, because it's not just about weight loss, although that can certainly be part of it. You want to meal prep because it is a form of taking care of yourself. When you learn how to cook, when you learn how to make good, healthy, balanced meals, that is a huge skill power to give yourself. It sets yourself up for the week. It gives you a nice base as you're going through the work week with emails and text messages and appointments and things you have to do. But imagine if you had sitting in your freezer a giant Tupperware of the most delicious, well-balanced breakfast burritos you'd ever made. You might remember to grab your breakfast. So welcome to my meal prep. Today we're going to be making my favorite thing to prep, and that is my delicious breakfast burritos. As I'm sure you probably heard the old saying, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But did you know that it's also the most skipped? And why wouldn't it be? You're trying to run out the door, you forgot to grab your keys, you got your wallet, sometimes life gets in the way. It's a very delicious breakfast that I prep for myself each and every week. Usually about Sunday or Monday, depending on how many I make. They're super easy to make, and there's a lot of benefits to them too. For example, you're gonna save money, you're gonna save time, and then also you set your day up right. When you have good, solid food coursing through your veins, you might have a better day. You might be in a better mood. You might be able to think clearly. Maybe that person that cuts you off in traffic doesn't bother you so much. It's a good, solid foundation. It's a gift as far as I'm concerned, and I hope that you guys give that to yourself. So sit back, relax, and hopefully by the end of this presentation, you're hungry for some breakfast. This is Bite Size. So first, let's meet our ingredients. So this is a very straightforward meal. Good, natural ingredients. There's nothing crazy in here. It takes a little bit of practice, but practice, as far as I'm concerned, is a skill. It's a skill that we have to develop in ourselves. The more you make these, the better you're gonna get at it, and trust me, there is nothing more empowering than being completely self-sufficient and being able to cook a good meal. I don't know anybody that's ever complained, it's like, oh, he's making them healthy, delicious burritos again. That boy ain't right. Certainly one I'm proud of, but make no mistake, I didn't start off this way. This was through lots of trial and error, but I got there, and you can too. So let's start off with our ingredients. So today we are starting off with delicious sweet onions, because if I'm going with onions, I want them sweet. Next up we have spinach. There's a lot of good dietary benefits to spinach. It is rich in iron, it is an antioxidant, it adds some flavor and rich texture to those burritos. It's a great filler, and I highly recommend it. Number 3, eggs, of course. Eggs, as far as I'm concerned, is breakfast royalty. You got eggs would be like the king, and I think bacon would be the queen. And then below them is pancakes and sausage. They're like the prince and the princess, and they're eagerly awaiting the line, but bacon and eggs are like, no, we're not going anywhere. Sorry, that's a little breakfast humor. Where was I? What were we talking about? Our next ingredient is 8 ounces of shredded sharp cheddar. Now, let me just go on a little bit of a rant here, if I might. So in my opinion, the best shredded cheese is the cheese that you shred yourself. It looks better, it tastes better. It's also cheaper. You save about $1.25, roughly, give or take. You get a little bit more yield from doing it for yourself. And then the other thing, and believe me, I'm not a naturalist. If you look at the back of your regular shredded cheese, right, which you would just expect that would be cheese, right? All the things that go into cheese. But usually what you see is either some sort of potato starch or flour. All that extra stuff inside that bag is just for presentation's sake. So that stuff is going in your food just so that when you go up to the grocery store, it looks like shredded cheese. I'm not a fan of that. Shredded cheese that you shred yourself, I believe, has a richer, more delicious flavor. And that's why we'll be shredding it today. Next up is bacon. Now, before you guys start writing me comments hey, we're trying to lose weight, why is there bacon in this recipe? Hold up. This is a perfect opportunity to bring up something that's very important with all the recipes that I personally make. I believe that there are 2 very important things to balance when you're developing new recipes. Can you comment on what those might be? I'll wait. I'll be honest, I don't know if there's commenting capabilities. If I'm just sitting here being yeah, guys, leave them in the comments. Ooh, that was a good one. I'm going to feel kind of silly, so apologies in advance. But let's pretend that you guys could. So the two things I like to balance in every single recipe I make is it has to be nutritious and it has to be delicious. Now I know what you're saying, but the food that I'm eating to lose weight. Here's the problem with that. I can make you the most calorie devoid cardboard salad, right? No dressing, just strips of cardboard, no calories, no fat, no nothing. You might lose weight eating that. That's a joke, by the way, just FYI. That's a joke, by the way. Don't eat cardboard salad. I barely like regular salad, let alone cardboard salad. Just because it's nutritious or devoid of like things that we perceive as bad doesn't mean you're gonna eat it. And that's sort of my philosophy. If you have something nutritious that you don't enjoy, that you won't eat, is that good for you? Is that gonna make you successful? What if we could find a nice, healthy middle ground between it being delicious and nutritious? It's being too delicious, sometimes that nutrition goes down. Maybe it's too high in sugar, maybe it's too high in salt, fat, all that good stuff. But then we start to find that healthy balance, and suddenly we're like, oh my God, I don't feel like I'm dieting because I'm not dieting. I'm not eating diet food, I'm just eating food. So we put bacon in there because you got delicious vegetables in there, it's got heart-healthy eggs, it's very protein heavy. So a little bit of bacon, literally half a strip inside of that, it's gonna make you want to eat these more. At least I think that, at least that's the theory. At least that's the theory. You don't have to go bacon. You can probably switch these up with a turkey bacon, or you can even just cut the meat out altogether. I would personally throw in a honey ham in there, just fry it up a little bit and put it in there, but that's just me. And then last but not least, to wrap up this whole thing, is a delicious white wrap. Now I know what you're gonna ask, is it one of those special low carb wraps? No, because I personally don't really care for them. You could go a whole wheat wrap or one of those green veggie wraps that you see sometimes. I actually saw them when I was grabbing these. But all of these ingredients make a burrito that I want to eat. And that's what I'm trying to inspire you guys to do as well. I want you to find your dream burrito. And hopefully from this tutorial, find some tricks, you find some tips, and you construct your own. You make this your own. If you make it your own, and it's something that you enjoy eating, you are on your way to success. So if that all sounds good, let's get cooking. Let's get our cutting board and our knife and our bowl. Just spread that all out. So the first thing we need to prep is our onions, our sweet, sweet onions. It's actually pretty easy. So got this big old onion right here. The way we start off is got a nice sharp knife. Cut off the top, just like that. And that gives us a nice base. And then I'm gonna cut off the bottom as well, which is now the top because I flipped it. Nice. Next thing I like to do, I like to give it a chop right in half. Like so. Beautiful. Look at that. Awesome. And then we just gotta take off that pesky outer layer. Gonna peel that right off like so. Easy peasy. There's one half, and then here's the other half coming at you. And getting all the action shots today here at Bite Size Kitchen. Cool. So there's our onion. Clean this up a little bit. 2 onion halves. I just like to take out the part right here, the little core. Just gotta cut a little triangle into it. This little triangle, just like so, as you can see. And that's gonna take that right out. That's gone. Get out of here. Nasty onion cores. All right. So you probably saw on my way in, I had a food chopper. I love food choppers. Food choppers are a cool tool, but what food choppers are not is a barrier to meal prepping. If you don't have a food chopper, you don't need a food chopper. I only have one because, well, it's convenient. And I found one on Amazon for like 18 bucks. So I grabbed one just because I like them. It's a cool tool to have. But don't let that stop you between you and meal prepping success. So with my food chopper in mind, I'm just going to slice these on through. It's going to make a whole lot more sense in a second why we are doing that. Love this. But again, don't let this stop you from food prepping. You don't need a food chopper. You just need a knife, cutting board, a knife, and an onion. When you're meal prepping, when you're developing the meal prepping skill, it is cool to find tools that will make your meal prepping faster. The faster you can do it, the more time you save, which is one of the cornerstone advantages of prepping. You want to spend less time cooking and more time doing other things, right? So here we go. Onions, just in the chopper. It's gone. It's gone. Where'd it go? It's right in there. How about that? Love that. Love me a food chopper. Feels good too. Like, there's not really a lot of things in life you get to just like mercilessly pound. Like, I like to pretend I'm like a judge. Like, Overruled. That felt good. All right, so the other thing, while we were chopping, I like to point out, so when you use a food chopper, you get a consistent chop. Consistent chop equals consistent ingredients. A consistent ingredient equals a consistent cook. A consistent cook leads to better tasting food. Don't believe me, give it a try. It's awesome. As if I do say so myself. Judging by this, we have about a lot of onions. I will definitely weigh this in a second just to get you exact measurements. I know there are definitely people on here being like, how much this, how much that. Don't worry, I will totally give you the breakdown of how much this and how much that is. But that's our onions. So easy. All right, on to our next ingredient. We got to do spinach. And for that, we got to go to the kitchen. Stay tuned. So spinach is a pretty easy ingredient to prep. Just a matter of giving it a bath. Trust me, like if you're going to prep right. Clean your veggies, rinse them, wash them, give them a good scrub. Not that I know what that's like anymore, but it's kind of like going to the salon. Put your head in the sink, let the water run, move the leaves around, really get that stuff out. You want nice, good, clean ingredients. And giving it a good wash, fantastic way to do that. And with that all nice and rinsed out, what I like to do is I like to grab a second colander and then just get some paper towels, in this case paper towel, because I'm out, and just pour it into the colander like so. Rub that excess water out. Okay, that looks pretty good. So, next ingredient, 8 ounces of sharp cheddar, grated, because that is the best way to enjoy cheddar, is grated. Awesome. One take. All right, very happy with myself on that one. So let's get this open. Let's get a bowl. And let's get our cheese grater. So, in all honesty, I personally love fresh grated cheese. That being said, you don't have to do this every time. As I said before too, meal prepping is also about saving time. So if you don't mind the little extra additive in the shredded cheese, if you don't ever notice it, that's fine. That's okay. I think I've developed just like a taste for this stuff. And I promise you, I'm not a food abolitionist. Like, if you want to do the bag stuff, I say go for it. Don't let it be a barrier to you and your goals. If it's easier for you to do it that way, you do it that way. No judgment here. I just want to give you some cool tips. And this was a cool tip when I discovered it. Because I'm like, get out. The shredded stuff, like the cheese, that's the funny thing. I always like move to the side when I'm trying to get a pan. That thing's actually useful. Pretty cool. And we're getting to that danger zone of the cheese where it's like, how much grade do I want before I'm willing to sacrifice the tips of my fingers? And we are definitely at that point. All right, fantastic. Let's break that up a little bit. Here's our bowl right here. Look at that beautiful tower of cheddar. Yeah, love that. How do you not love that? Look at this. Beautiful. Into a bowl we go. Enough marveling at the cheddar. I could just eat the cheddar. I was never like a cheese person, like before surgery. Like, I used to call this raw cheese. I would never touch this stuff. Like singles, not a fan. So not a fan. I need melted cheddar. I need other things besides just cheese. But this, man, let's give it a shot. Oh, that is sharp. Love that. All right, on to our next ingredient. What is our next ingredient? Cheddar. Oh, eggs. Duh, eggs. Breakfast royalty. Let's put that off to the side. So eggs. Grade A, jumbo eggs, 12 of them. Normally, I do 10 eggs for 10 burritos. That's usually the math. But in this situation, because I'm going to show you guys a little bit of extra, I'm going to beat 12 eggs, which is perfect. That's a dozen. So let's get cracking. Bowl. Don't need a knife. I don't know why I have that in my hand. And then, yeah, let's crack these open. So piece of cake, just take an egg over the bowl. And voila, there you go. Do that 11 more times. And you have yourself a dozen eggs cracked into a bowl. Pretty simple. I love the jumbo 12 ones because they are arguably easier to crack. So easy to crack. God, you look like an expert doing that kind of stuff. Get rid of the eggshells, and then where is my whisk? Let's whisk this up. Nothing personal, just breakfast business. Beat these up. Just like that. Piece of cake. Beautiful. Beautiful, silky, ready for breakfast. Put that off to the side. And now we're ready to get cooking. Let's get set up for that. I'll be honest, I almost forgot. Bacon, of course, bacon. After I just went on that giant spiel about how bacon is okay. So, got a nice pan here, nice and tin foily. And what I'm gonna do is just take our bacon, right here, strip of bacon, and I'm just gonna lay it flat down on the pan like so. Easy peasy. It is worth mentioning, I do have my oven preheated right now to 375 degrees. And if I time this correct, by the time we are done cooking all of our lovely ingredients, all of that delicious onions and spinach and eggs and cheese, this bacon will be ready to construct our breakfast burritos in. Very exciting. I don't know if you're excited. I'm excited because I get to eat them. I get to eat them. I get to enjoy them. I get to kick off my week the right way. But here's our bacon in all of its bacon glory. I'm just going to pop this in the oven and then cook our burrito filling. Stay tuned. Things are about to get very cheesy. Now that I have my bacon in the oven, we're going to start cooking the rest of this burrito stuff. This is where the magic happens. So let's get our burner set up. Let's get our pans. And then, yeah, let's get rocking. I'm getting a little hungry. So this is not a fancy anything. It's just a regular burner. Granted, it's an induction burner. I got it so that I can cook in my living room. But you don't need that. You can just use your regular stove. Don't worry about it. What I'm doing is I'm preheating my pan. On this recipe, you want to start with a medium to high heat. Why is that? So onions are a root vegetable, which means they've sucked up a lot of water. They still actually have a lot of water inside of them. When you cook on low or medium temperature, as that water gets removed from the onion, that water starts to evaporate in the pan and it can actually steam the onion. We're not looking for steamed onions. We're looking for sauteed onions. Sauteed onions is where the flavor happens. All those natural sugars coming out of the onion, heating up, giving you a little bit of char, a little bit of flavor. Beautiful. So I got my pan here, and that's feeling pretty good. I'm gonna hit this pan with a little bit of cooking spray. This is Chosen. It's avocado spray. If you use Pam, if you like Pam, I have nothing bad to say about Pam. I just really like the sprayer. It's really cool. Check this out. Watch. I just love the direction that it sprays in. It's so powerful. I love it. That's feeling pretty good. So here are our onions. And the way I like to test the pan is nice and hot. I just want to take my earbud out so I can actually hear it. Is I just take a little bit. I go. And if you hear that like audience like gearing up to start clapping, you have a nice hot pan for nice hot onions. Don't put it in a pan that's not ready for onions. Here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, round of applause for the beautiful onions. Love that. Where's my spatula? Get the rest of those onions out. So we got our onions in the pan. We're going to be stirring often. It smells really good in here. It smells great. Let that cook for a little bit longer. So while this is cooking, this is actually a good opportunity to hit it with a pinch of salt. Now, again, I know what you're being like, salt? What are we doing with salt? I thought we're trying to lose weight. Well, it's a little bit of salt. A little bit of pinch of salt. It's not going to hurt anything. What it actually is going to do is it's going to draw out some more of that water that I was talking about. The more water you're able to rapidly pull out of the onions to cook, the better they will taste. Just a small pinch of salt, just like so. We'll do 2 because there's a lot of onions here. And yeah, let that cook. And I could already smell the difference. It's crazy. A little bit of salt goes a long, long way. You barely taste it. Just because when we add our spinach in next, there's going to be more water added, a little bit more salt. It's going to be good, I promise. And I can already see a little bit of that brown color that I was looking for. So I want a little bit more than that. You don't want to fully cook these things because we're going to be adding another vegetable in there and then that's all going to cook together. You don't want to overcook anything. I start with onions as the base because they do take the longest to cook out of all the ingredients. So I like to get them like 3/4 of the way done. And then in goes the rest of the ingredients and then it just comes out great. Again, just stirring often. You just want to make sure that you are getting that color. You're getting that color and you're also getting no burned bits. No bueno. Okay. So it looks like we're ready to get on to the next step, which is spinach. Spinach, same deal. I'm just going to pop that in. Don't want to lose my dish towel. Okay. And then I'm just going to sprinkle that in. Plenty of that. And it looks like a lot because it is a lot. It's actually a substantial amount. But the thing about spinach is, again, just like onions, it's very water-based. So this is going to cook down, it's going to wilt down, it's going to pick up those onion flavors, mixed together. It's going to be a great filler. So with that in the pan, a little bit more salt, beautiful. Oh, smells so good. So while I'm cooking the spinach, full disclosure, like, before I had surgery, I was not a spinach head. I was not an onion head. I was a vegetable guy. I mean, I wouldn't even call myself a vegetable guy now, but like, I'm much more open to it because I realized the vegetables I was eating as a kid, they didn't have to cook that good. They were never like prepared with like this care and love. It was just sort of like, put it in a pan, make it warm, throw some glaze or sauce on it, and call it a day. I never liked the stuff. I never cared for that stuff. I still don't care for that stuff. I think it's worth it to take a look at some old ingredients that you've written off and just try to make them your own. Like, this is so good. It's so delicious. It's so filling. Who knows what you're missing out on? That's kind of the amazing thing about food is like, sometimes like it's not just about the ingredient, it's about how you cook it and what you pair it with. And I really do encourage you to try new combinations, try new recipes, try new flavors. Try them in bite-sized amounts, of course, just to start. And who knows, maybe you'll have a whole new palate. I certainly do. I was a burger and fries kind of guy, and I took pride in that. Now, I'm like, I love homemade food. I love making it for others. I love sharing it with people online. It's crazy. You never know where this stuff is going to take you. Oh my God, the color in this pan. Camera guy, can you get a view of this? Look at that. Look at all that beautiful color. I mean, this could be the color of a cookbook. Just onions and spinach. And it just goes to show you, like, cooking, it looks a lot harder than it actually is. You just need to develop a little bit of confidence in it. I call it cooking confidence, and I certainly have a little bit of it. Sometimes I get a little shy, but overall, I've really developed my confidence in these last couple of years. It's been really great. It's a wonderful thing to know how to cook a good meal for yourself. Because then you can share it with others. And then they can share it with others. And that kind of gives the world a little bit more love. Which I totally think we could use some of these days. Beautiful. So we got our onions and we got our spinach. We got all that pesky water out of our pan. We're in pretty good shape. At this point, we're going to add our eggs in. Let me just grab that real quick. Yeah, here are our eggs. And we're just going to pour that right in the middle. Pour that like so. And again, we're just going to mix this up. Beautiful. Get all those beautiful flavors mixing in together. So while you are cooking all these beautiful eggs with all that spinach, with all those caramelized onions, it's so important to keep things moving. That way you don't burn eggs. Eggs is one of those ingredients that there is no well done. It's like popcorn or chicken, come to think of it, or even salmon. It's either done or it is gross. I am not a fan of gross eggs. That this in any way, shape, or form looks gross. I mean, this looks fantastic. So we're not looking for completely formed scrambled eggs in here yet because we still have to add the star of our show. No, not bacon. That's still cooking in the oven. We still have to add our sharp cheddar. So where is that? Sharp cheddar. Awesome. That looks great. Now we just got to fold everything in together and get all those ingredients, all those flavors mixed well, because we don't want to overcook any of this. This is getting to a point where it is almost perfect. And then we're going to take this off the heat and put it off to the side. You really got to work hard at this part because all those eggs are nice and formed, and now that cheese is melting. You make sure it all gets mixed up and looks great. I love making batches of these. So take this off to the side, like so. So now that we have our burrito filler off to the side, I'm just gonna go check on our bacon. And if that looks good, we're gonna start wrapping up some burritos, toasting them, storing them. So stick around. We're almost done. Yummy bacon. Now we got our yummy bacon in the oven. Let's get burrito wrapping. Here is our beautiful burrito filler. So we have our La Bandita wraps. These are fantastic. They're my favorite kind of wraps to work with. You can get these at most grocery stores. But if for some reason you can't find this exact brand, don't worry about it. Find a wrap that you enjoy, that you like. Like I said, there's whole grain, there's veggie ones, I think there's even cheddar ones these days, which is kind of neat. I'll have to check those out. But yeah, these are the ones I use. I love them. They're my go-to. Let's wrap these up. Okay, so the way I like to do this, and I learned this technique from McDonald's. I worked there as a teenager. So wrap flat on the cutting board. Then I have my bowl right here. It's about a quarter cup, right? So what I like to do is I like to grab my eggs and just give that a generous little spoonful. Then I come over here to my wrap and I just pop that down the middle. I'm just gonna let that even out a little bit. Beautiful, that looks great. And then one strip of bacon. And then I like to take the two ends and I like to fold it right on top of the bacon right there. Grab this end with your thumbs, bring that over, and you want it nice and tight. And that's a burrito right there. Easy peasy, right? That's awesome. Okay. Hopefully that looked easy, because it felt easy, and you could do it too. So there's one. When I wrap these, I like to make sure that the tongue is sticking out in the same direction, and I'll go over the reason for that in a second. But make sure that they're all wrapped and facing to the left. And now we just do that 9 more times. So check this out. So now that we have these burritos all wrapped up and ready to go, there's one more step that I like to do. I like to toast them. So toasting them gives these a really good flavor. It also seals them up. So when you do go to microwave, they're nice and closed, and then you don't make a mess. We're gonna toast these and then pack these up, pack them, freeze them. We're almost done. So hungry. So we got our burner back. So it doesn't take much heat to toast these. So I'm gonna set this at a 4, which would be like a low on the oven. It's kind of like making a grilled cheese. You just want a nice brown right up the spine of these things. Seal in that flavor, seal in that burrito. Oh, it's calorie-free flavor, which is great. So you're picking up more taste for, no extra salt, no extra sugar, no extra anything. It's just to cook. That's awesome. So I just got my avocado tray here. Just gonna hit that because I don't want this to stick. So I got my pan, it's nice and hot. I got some oil in there so it's non-stick. I'm just gonna take one of my burritos. I'm just gonna put it right in there. I'm gonna take a second one and just do that as well. Get that nice and toasty. And what you get is this gorgeous golden brown. Beautiful, look at that. That is perfect. Is exactly what we're looking for. So we'll let this toast on both sides, and then you don't need those fancy meal prep containers. I have them. I never use these things. What I have is a cheap little Tupperware, probably something I got at Walmart or Target. Just get a good container. Take these out. Beautiful. And now we just do that 10 more times. And remember how I mentioned how it was important to have that flap in one direction, like facing out that way, all consistent? It's so that I'm able to just kind of like peel over and see what's going on. Because on the second round, these can toast quick because that pan is very hot. Yeah, that's already toasted. That's doing okay. I like that. That way I'm able to kind of like just turn it over a little bit. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of toasting I'm looking for. That toast right there on that burrito. Oh, awesome. Flip that one over. And yeah, there's another 2. Perfect. Going into the Tupperware. There's number 9. And here's number 10. That's it. Prepped and ready to go. Ah, so good. So, here are burritos and all of their burrito goodness. We did it. So for new bariatric patients, you may be saying to yourself, dude, I can't eat all of this. And I totally empathize with that. I'm sorry. But you probably will be able to. Most people that make my recipes for this one, they say that they'll normally do a half and that they'll share the other half with their kid, which I think is so cool. It's actually one of my favorite things about making food content is learning how people share these meals with people. For some reason, kids really like these too, which I think is awesome. I'm a big fan of that just because I remember being a kid and being a picky eater. I remember how frustrated that used to make my mom. It's understandable. But for new bariatric patients, there is hope. So what I would do if you were, 3 months out or something like that and you wanted to make these, I would just eat the insides. So you could make these and then share them with other people. And then you can take a fork and just eat the insides and just do it as you can tolerate. Or you can do this. I love these. These are mason jars, Ball brand. Oh, they are fantastic. They were my favorite. You can just put the insides in here, have little portions, and you can freeze these, warm them up, and just enjoy as needed. It's a pretty cool trick. So you just grab your mason jars and then get that filling. And then you can just take a spoonful, put it into each cup. Then you have something pre-portioned waiting for you when you are ready for it. It's a fantastic skill to develop, having food that you can count on when you need it. That is 100% skill power that you can develop and go far with. Skill power over willpower any day. Willpower is good for deciding to do something. Skill power is great for when you want to do that something. Hope that helps. We did it. And it was super quick and it was super easy, and I highly recommend that you try this recipe. Again, if there are things in here that you don't care for, it's spinach, onion, cheese, bacon, whatever it is, swap it out. Try something different. Make this your own. I really do encourage you to at least try this method. See how it treats you. Again, meal prepping. It's such a nice gift to give yourself. It really does set you up for such a successful week. And having breakfast in the morning, having a go-to, like bulletproof breakfast that will fill you up and get you out the door in the morning, that is beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. It's been an honor to cook for you, and I will see you next time. This was bite-sized. All right, that's a wrap. Time to clean up this kitchen. Yay me!